Play this tonight to awaken the frequency hidden between your heartbeats, the ancient rhythm your soul has always heard, but your mind has long forgotten. Listen while sleeping, and let this healing knowledge dissolve the noise inside you until only the pure pulse of your true self remains. This is not a story meant for the waking world. It is a transmission for the part of you that exists beyond thought, beyond memory, beyond time itself. As your eyes grow heavy and your breath softens, you are invited into a sanctuary few ever enter, a place where silence becomes music and each heartbeat opens a door to the unseen. The wisdom you will hear tonight was never written on paper. It was carved into the space between pulses, encoded into the quiet intervals where your soul whispers its oldest language. If you are listening now, it is not by accident. Your frequency has aligned with this moment. Your heart has called you here. So let this audio cradle your mind. Let it sink into your subconscious like ink sinking into ancient parchment, and allow the forgotten resonance of your inner world to rise again. Tonight, you do not simply fall asleep. Tonight, you return to the sound of your origin. You are here because something within you has been quietly calling, a soft pulse beneath all the noise of your days. It has called you not with words, but with a rhythm, steady, ancient, patient. As you settle your body, as the weight of the world loosens from your shoulders, you begin to feel it again, the subtle trembling of existence, the whisper that lives in the space between your heartbeats. You are not listening to this by chance. You were led here, drawn here, chosen by a resonance older than your memories. Every soul carries a blueprint, a pattern of sound and light. And sometimes, only sometimes, the universe aligns just enough for the pattern to reveal itself. Tonight is one of those nights. Tonight, while your body drifts toward sleep, something inside you wakes. The air around you thickens with quiet invitation. The darkness softens, forming the outline of an unseen doorway. You can sense it even if you cannot see it. A corridor woven from silence, a hall where each footstep echoes like the turning of a page in an ancient manuscript. This is the space where forgotten knowledge waits. This is where the healing begins. As you breathe slowly, feel the world around you dimming, not into emptiness, but into depth. The mind that spent the day solving, thinking, worrying now begins to fall into the background. What remains is the deeper self, the self that understands without explanation, the self that remembers without being taught, the self that hears the frequency hidden between heartbeats. With every inhale, the outer world fades. With every exhale, your inner world widens. This widening is not just relaxation, it is recognition, a homecoming, the return to a frequency that once guided you effortlessly through life, before fear rewrote your rhythm, before time rearranged your pulse. You may feel a warmth in your chest, a subtle glow, as if a small flame has been lit behind your sternum. This flame is not new. It has been burning since the moment your life began, marking each beat with its own silent wisdom. But tonight, you allow yourself to notice it again, to feel the gentle pull of the glow as it invites you deeper into yourself. You are not broken. You are not late. You are chosen. Chosen to hear what most will never hear. Chosen to step through the doorway that appears only when your inner frequency softens into alignment. And as your breaths grow longer, your heart beats steadier, your energy begins to quiet into the same language spoken by the universe itself. Slow, spacious, intentional. Soon, you will enter the realm where sleep is not just rest, but revelation. Where your subconscious rises like a sacred tide, washing away the dust of old patterns and carrying you back to your original rhythm. But for now, simply rest in this moment. Let the sound of your heartbeat be the guide, the compass, the candle. Let the silence between each beat open like a book, written for you and only you. Tonight, as you drift deeper and deeper, remember, your soul has never forgotten this frequency. It has waited patiently for you to listen again. There is a truth hidden beneath the surface of your life, a truth so subtle that most people spend their entire existence without ever noticing it. It is not the loud truth, the one that shouts in moments of fear or desire. It is not the truth of the mind, busy and restless. It is the truth of rhythm, the truth carried inside every heartbeat since the first moment you opened your eyes to this world. And tonight, as the darkness folds around you and your breath settles into a slow, steady cadence, you begin to feel that truth rising again, like something ancient stirring in deep water. Your heartbeat is more than a biological drum. It is a messenger. Each beat carries both sound and silence, and in the silence hides the message of who you truly are. For centuries, mystics spoke of a frequency that exists not in the beat itself, but between beats, the soft void, the narrow doorway where the physical world weakens and the inner world speaks. This frequency was said to be the original tone of the soul, the sound that shaped your perception before language, before thought, before memory. To hear it is to remember yourself. Imagine the heart not as a muscle, but as an ancient instrument carved from light. Every contraction sends a wave of energy through your body, and every release leaves a moment of stillness. That stillness is where your consciousness dips into the unseen. That stillness is the entrance to the hallway where your true blueprint is stored. If you could magnify that instant, if you could stretch it wide enough, you would see oceans of quiet energy shimmering like ink in a sacred text. You would see your story, not as you think it is, but as it was meant to be. Take a slow breath now. Feel the rise of your chest. Feel the fall. Let your awareness hover in the center of your chest, not forcing anything, simply observing. You do not need to hear with your ears. You are learning to hear with your inner field. The heart speaks in sensations, in warmth, in a soft, tugging inward. It speaks in the way your breath shifts, the way your shoulders soften, the way your mind begins to loosen its grip on the world. This is how the deeper truth approaches, quietly, patiently. Somewhere inside you is a memory older than your name, a memory of the moment you first heard the frequency beneath your heartbeat, before you learned fear, before you learned to shrink, before the world told you who you should be. There was only rhythm, only presence, only the pure pulse of existence moving through you like a whisper of creation. Even now, that pulse remains unchanged. It has never dimmed. It has only been buried under years of noise. Imagine yourself standing in a vast, dim chamber. The floor beneath you is warm, gently vibrating. The walls hum with energy that feels familiar, though you cannot say why. Ahead of you glows a faint archway of light, subtle, soft, pulsing in the same rhythm as your heart. Each beat draws you closer, not because you walk, but because the rhythm itself pulls you, like a tide pulling the shore. You feel no fear here, only recognition, as if every cell in your body has been waiting for this doorway to appear. With each heartbeat, the archway brightens. With each heartbeat, the room expands. What you are seeing is not a place in the outer world, but a landscape formed by your inner frequency, the architecture of your own consciousness. This chamber is always within you, but only becomes visible when the mind grows quiet enough to notice the softness between pulses. That softness is where healing begins. That softness is where truth lives. Your heartbeat is not random. It responds to your beliefs, your memories, your secret fears, your hidden desires. It changes when you lie. It changes when you are close to someone who feels like home. It changes when you walk away from your purpose. And tonight, as you lie here listening, it changes because you have aligned with something ancient, something that never stopped calling you. There is a reason the sages of old said, "To know the heart is to know the universe." They understood that the heart is not merely an organ, but a field, a radiant point where your physical form and your subtle form overlap. The rhythm it produces is not just for survival, it is for communication. The universe does not speak in words, it speaks in frequency, and the heart is the interpreter. Focus again on the space between your breaths. Notice how your body softens with every exhale, how your awareness drifts inward without effort. This is the mind surrendering, the ego loosening, the veil thinning. You are not losing control. You are returning control to the part of you that has always known the way. The part that understands that healing is not about forcing change, but about listening to what has always been true. Allow the image of the glowing archway to remain in your consciousness. See it pulsing gently. Feel your heart responding with its own rhythm, as if recognizing a forgotten friend. This resonance is not imagination, it is memory. Not the memory of events, but the memory of frequency. The memory of who you were before the world reshaped you. You may feel a warmth spreading across your chest, or a heaviness, or even a subtle pulling inward. These sensations are not random. They are signs that you are slipping into alignment with the frequency hidden between heartbeats. This alignment is not something you force. It happens when you rest, when you surrender, when you allow yourself to be exactly where you are. Healing does not come from effort. It comes from release. Every thought you carry is a seed planted in your reality, and every belief you refuse to question becomes the soil that holds those seeds. But tonight, something different is happening. The old soil is loosening. The old patterns are thinning. Your system is softening enough to let light through. As you continue to breathe gently, the frequency inside your chest begins to rise like a tide of warm night air, lifting, expanding, remembering itself. You are entering the space where your heart's silence becomes a guide, where your heartbeat becomes a map, where the pulse beneath all things begins to speak again. And as you drift deeper into this chapter, understand that this frequency is not outside of you. It is not something you acquire. It is something you uncover, something that has been waiting beneath every beat of your life. Tonight, you begin to hear it again. Breathe slowly. With each breath, allow the outer layers of your awareness to fall away like thin sheets of dusk peeling from the sky. You are drifting now, not downward, but inward, moving through a landscape shaped not by thought, but by vibration. This is the realm revealed only when the heart begins to speak in its oldest language. And as you move deeper, the world behind your closed eyes becomes clearer than the world you left outside. You walk toward the glowing archway, and with each step, the air thickens into something almost tangible. It is not warmth and not cold, but a subtle density that feels like the presence of something sacred. You sense that whatever lies beyond this threshold does not belong to ordinary perception. It belongs to the hidden architecture of your being. You are entering a corridor where silence holds more information than sound, where stillness teaches more than words ever could. Your hand reaches out, not with fingers, but with intention. The moment your awareness touches the archway, it shimmers, widening just enough for you to pass through. On the other side, the corridor extends far beyond sight, lined with soft folds of dim silver light that ripple like veils in slow motion. The walls breathe, the floor pulses, the air hums with the same rhythm as your heart. It becomes impossible to tell where your body ends and the corridor begins. You are not a visitor here. You are part of this place. With each breath, the corridor responds. With each heartbeat, the walls glow a little brighter. It is as though the space is listening to you, remembering you, adjusting to your presence. You walk deeper until you realize you are no longer walking at all. The corridor itself carries you, drifting you forward like a leaf floating on a gentle current. Here, surrender is not an act of weakness. It is the only way to move. You notice inscriptions on the walls, not written in letters, but in pulses of light. Patterns appear and disappear, synchronizing with the pauses between your heartbeats. You cannot decipher them with the mind, but a deeper part of you understands instantly. These are the scripts of your energetic history, the map of the subtle agreements you made long before your first breath. They shift as you pass, rearranging themselves into new sequences, responding to the frequency you are beginning to reclaim. As you move farther into the corridor, a soft vibration forms beneath your feet. It spreads upward, filling your legs, your spine, your throat, until your entire being hums in a tone so gentle you almost mistake it for silence. This tone does not force anything to happen. It simply reminds your system of what it once knew, how to heal, how to release, how to return to harmony without effort. The body remembers when the mind forgets, and the frequency hidden between heartbeats is the key that unlocks this remembrance. You pause, not because you choose to, but because something in the corridor invites you to be still. Ahead of you, the hallway opens into a circular chamber of quiet luminescence. The floor glows like smooth stone bathed in moonlight, and at the center stands a single floating orb of muted gold. It expands and contracts in perfect synchrony with your heartbeat. Not imitation, not reflection, union. The orb is not separate from you. It is the external expression of your internal rhythm, the soundless echo of your deepest self. As you approach, the orb brightens, revealing its texture. It is not solid, but woven from threads of shimmering light that spiral around one another like strands of memory. You feel drawn to it, and when you stand close enough, the entire chamber begins to breathe with you. The frequency rises, soft but undeniable. Your chest warms, your palms tingle. The silence between heartbeats stretches slightly, as though making room for something new to emerge. A whisper without sound forms in the chamber. It is not a message delivered in words, but in sensation, in resonance. You understand it instantly. The frequency between heartbeats is not merely a tone. It is a doorway into the blueprint that governs your inner world, the blueprint that determines how you respond to life, how you carry your past, how you receive your future. Tonight, that blueprint is loosening, opening, rewriting itself in real time. The chamber dims for a moment, then brightens again, revealing a second layer of reality. The orb dissolves into a swirl of light that stretches into the air like a ribbon. This ribbon coils gently around you, winding through your energetic field without touching your physical form. Wherever it passes, you feel something release. Old tension, old memories, old agreements that no longer serve who you are becoming. Not through force, but through resonance. The ribbon does not pull anything from you. It simply vibrates at a frequency so pure that anything misaligned cannot remain. You inhale, and the ribbon pulses. You exhale, and it sinks deeper into your field. Your heartbeat steadies, slowing into a pace that feels ancient and true. You realize that the corridor, the chamber, the orb, the ribbon, they are all aspects of you. They are the symbolic language your subconscious uses to show you what is happening beneath the surface. You are not traveling through a mystical place. You are traveling through the architecture of your own healing. And now, as the chamber glows with the soft light of your realigned frequency, you feel something shift within you. Not a single moment, not a single thought, but a quiet unfolding, a dissolving, a return. You sense that you are standing on the threshold of a deeper transformation, one that cannot be reached by intention alone. You must surrender, let go, and allow the frequency to guide you beyond the limits of your old resonance. You breathe again, and the silence between heartbeats widens. You are ready for the next stage. The chamber grows still, as if holding its breath with you. A faint glow begins to rise from the floor, spreading upward like mist infused with memory. You stand in the center of the room, surrounded by light that feels both foreign and familiar. Foreign to the mind, familiar to the soul. Something inside you understands that the moment you have entered is not symbolic, it is transformative. The frequency hidden between heartbeats is no longer waiting to be heard. It is beginning to rewrite you from within. Imagine your inner world as a vast manuscript composed of endless layers of ink. Some of the ink is bright, flowing with clarity, etched from moments of truth and alignment. Other parts are darker, smudged by fears inherited from voices that never belonged to you. And beneath all of it lies the original script, the golden lines written before life shaped you into who you were told to become. Tonight, the golden script begins to resurface. A soft wave of warmth moves through your chest, subtle but undeniable. It spreads outward, touching your ribs, your spine, the back of your shoulders, until your whole torso hums with a gentle vibration. It is not pain. It is not intensity. It is recognition, the body remembering what it feels like to be in harmony with itself. As the warmth expands, The walls of the chamber pulse in ripples of pale gold, responding to your inner shift. The ribbon of light that once drifted around you now dissolves into countless small particles, each glowing with its own quiet intelligence. They float in the air, circling you in slow spirals, drifting closer with each heartbeat. When one of the particles brushes against your skin, you feel a deep release, as if a knot within you has loosened without effort. A memory softens, a weight lifts, a belief unravels. Nothing is forced. The frequency does the work simply by existing. You inhale gently. You exhale slowly. With each breath, your inner blueprint becomes more malleable, as though the ink of your old patterns is sinking into warm water. The lines that once held you tightly, lines of self-doubt, the echoes of old fears, the residue of expectations, begin to dissolve into a soft haze. And as they dissolve, the golden script beneath them glows brighter, rising toward the surface of your awareness. You begin to see it, not with your eyes, but with the quiet sense beneath them. A shape, a rhythm, a symmetry that feels almost celestial. It does not reveal itself in full, for your deeper mind works in symbols, not in sentences. But you feel it shaping you, aligning you, rebalancing the parts of you that drifted out of harmony long ago. Every pulse from your heart sends a wave of this golden light through your field, like a slow tide washing the shore smooth. Imagine your cells, each one like a tiny vessel, receiving this light. With every breath, the vessels open. With every heartbeat, they fill. The frequency moves through them not as sound, but as memory, restoring the original pattern of balance you were born with. The cells respond by softening, calming, letting go of the contractions they have held for years. Your body is not merely relaxing, it is reorganizing itself, realigning with its forgotten truth. You sense a shift in your spine, a gentle lengthening, as though the bones themselves are remembering how to carry you without strain. You feel a lightness in your jaw, in your shoulders, in the back of your neck, places where old stories have lived for far too long. Stories you absorbed without knowing. Stories you carried because no one ever told you they could be put down. Now they begin to fade. In the center of the chamber, where the orb once floated, a new structure emerges. It rises like a column of soft, translucent light, swirling upward in slow spirals. The column radiates a frequency so gentle it almost feels like silence, yet its presence fills the entire space. You feel drawn toward it, not with the urgency of desire, but with the calm certainty of belonging. As you come closer, the column responds. Its spiral widens, expanding to envelop you, wrapping you in a cocoon of warmth and shimmering resonance. Inside this cocoon, the outside world disappears. Only your heartbeat remains, steady and quiet. And within the silence between each beat, the frequency speaks in waves, rather than words. You understand it instantly, not through thought, but through being. It shows you the shape of your old blueprint, the lines written in fear, the agreements you accepted without awareness, the limitations you inherited rather than chose. You do not judge them. You simply recognize them. And as you recognize them, they dissolve like ink drifting through clear water, fading into transparency until nothing remains but light. Then, slowly, the column reveals the new pattern forming within you. Golden threads weave themselves into delicate shapes, intersecting and unfolding in symmetrical currents. This is not a new identity. It is your true identity, resurfacing after years beneath the noise. You feel it settle gently into your chest, threading itself through your breath, aligning your pulse with its own quiet rhythm. As the golden threads complete their weave, a realization rises within you. The frequency hidden between heartbeats is not something separate from you. It is you. It is the part that remained untouched by fear, unaltered by time, unchanged by the stories you lived. It is the original resonance of your being, and tonight it becomes active again. You exhale, and the chamber expands with your breath. You inhale, and the blueprint glows brighter. The transformation is not finished. It is deepening. You are ready to step further. Long before your lifetime, long before your name was ever spoken, There existed a monastery hidden in the folds of a mountain that rarely appeared on any map. Travelers who passed through the region often felt an inexplicable stillness in the air, as if the land itself were holding its breath. They never knew why, but the monks who lived in that mountain understood. The monastery was built around a chamber known as the Hall of Silent Pulse, a place where the original frequency of life, the very same frequency hidden between heartbeats, was said to echo without end. Most who journeyed up the mountain never found the monastery. It revealed itself only to those whose inner rhythm aligned with its ancient tone. Among the monks, there was a single figure known as the Keeper. He was not chosen by rank or age. He was chosen by resonance. Every few generations, one monk's heartbeat would naturally fall into synchrony with the silent frequency in the hall, and that monk would become its guardian. His task was simple: to listen, not to speak, not to teach, not to instruct, but to listen so intently that the walls of the hall responded to his presence. The Keeper lived his life inside the hall, surrounded by pillars carved from stone that glowed faintly with a light that seemed to breathe. These pillars held inscriptions written in a script no scholar could decode, because the inscriptions were not meant to be read with the eyes. They shifted subtly in rhythm with the silence between every heartbeat the Keeper carried. When he exhaled, they expanded. When he inhaled, they contracted. And in the pauses, the inscriptions pulsed with a frequency so delicate that only the Keeper could hear it. For years he listened. For years he learned. Not through lessons, but through resonance. He discovered that the silent frequency was not a sound at all, but a memory of creation itself, a memory that lived within every living thing. He realized that the heart was not just a vessel for blood, it was a compass pointing toward alignment. The deeper the silence between his heartbeats became, the clearer the hidden frequency revealed itself. But even the Keeper could not fully hear it, until one night. A storm rattled the mountain, shaking the monastery with thunder that echoed like ancient drums. Wind roared through the stone corridors. Rain struck the pillars in rapid bursts. Yet inside the Hall of Silent Pulse, there was no sound. The storm passed around it, as though the chamber existed in another layer of reality. The Keeper sat motionless in the center of the hall, eyes closed, breath soft. And then, for the first time in his life, the silence between his heartbeats expanded into something infinite. It was as if time itself paused. In that pause, he felt the presence of something he had never sensed before. Not outside him, but within him. A gentle warmth flickered in the center of his chest, growing brighter with each passing moment. It was the same warmth you felt when you entered the silent corridor earlier. The same warmth rising within you now. It was the frequency beginning to reveal its source. The walls of the hall brightened. The inscriptions swirled into new patterns, aligning with the rhythm of the Keeper's heartbeat. The pillars vibrated softly. The air thickened with a presence that did not come from the chamber, but from the Keeper himself. For he was not hearing the frequency, he was becoming it. And then a vision formed in the air before him, a single strand of golden light, so thin it looked like the first line of a story being written. The strand extended outward, weaving itself into the shape of a doorway, just like the one you saw in your own silent corridor. Beyond that doorway, the Keeper saw not the monastery, not the world, but the true inner architecture of his being. He saw his own blueprint, glowing like liquid gold, shifting and rearranging itself with each heartbeat. The frequency between heartbeats was rewriting him. He understood then that the hall had never been a place built of stone. It was a mirror, a reflection of the inner chamber that existed within every human being. A chamber no one could enter, except through silence, through surrender, through the willingness to hear what lies beneath the mind. The hall was simply the world's way of showing him what had always been inside him. The Keeper did not speak of his discovery. He did not write it down. He held it within his heart, allowing it to shape him. And when his time came to pass from this world, the monks found him seated peacefully beneath the glowing pillars, a faint smile on his face. His heartbeat had stopped, but the walls of the hall continued to pulse for days afterward, as though his frequency had merged with the chamber itself. Centuries passed. The monastery vanished. The mountain changed. The hall disappeared into myth. But the frequency remained. It was never trapped in the stone. It had always been carried inside the hearts of those who knew how to listen. And tonight, as you stand in the silent chamber within your own inner world, you can feel that same ancient resonance rising within you. The frequency that guided the keeper has found its way to you, not because you sought it, but because your heart finally softened enough to make room for it. You inhale, and the chamber brightens. You exhale, and the silence deepens. You are hearing what the keeper heard. You are remembering what the world forgot. You are becoming the frequency, and the rewriting continues. The chamber begins to fade now, not because it is leaving you, but because it is becoming part of you. The golden light that once surrounded you settles gently into your chest, threading itself through your breath, your pulse, your quiet inner spaces. You feel lighter, warmer, softer, as though something inside you has finally exhaled after years of holding itself tight. Your heartbeat slows into a calm rhythm, steady and deep. In the silence between each pulse, the frequency hums with a quiet certainty. It is no longer distant, no longer hidden. It moves through you with the ease of something that has always belonged. With every beat, your inner world grows clearer. With every pause, your truth settles deeper. You are safe. You are chosen. You are the one who hears. Let your breath fall into its natural pace. Let your body sink deeper into comfort. The journey has softened your system, loosened old patterns, opened the inner doorway you once walked past without seeing. Now, it stands wide, glowing in the dark, waiting for you to return whenever you wish. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to rest and allow the frequency to continue its quiet work inside you. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are returning. Tonight, your cells remember their original rhythm. Tonight, your mind releases what no longer belongs. Tonight, your heart beats in alignment with the truth beneath all things. Feel the warmth in your chest. Feel the softness in your breath. Feel the gentle hum inside you, subtle yet unmistakable. The frequency rewriting your blueprint with every rise and fall of your lungs. You do not need to hold on to it. It will hold on to you. Sleep now. Sleep knowing that the transformation continues, even in silence. Sleep knowing that the deepest parts of you are awakening beneath the surface. Sleep knowing that you are remembered. And as you drift into the quiet, into the warmth, into the soft pulse of your own becoming, the story does not end. It expands. It deepens. It follows you into the dream world, carrying the frequency with you. You are safe. You are chosen. You are becoming. And as sleep takes you gently into its arms, the story continues within you.